Have you ever wondered why someone looks so different from you even though you're related to them? The answer is simple: DNA and genetics. Hello, my name is Wisniewski. I am a part of the Sunset 4-H Club, and today I'll tell you about the amazing world of genetics. DNA can determine if you're related to someone, if you're convicted of a crime, and even predict possible diseases in you. DNA is little cells inside your body that with all the information about how a living thing will look and work. DNA in humans can determine the color of hair or even how your lungs will work. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. Everyone's DNA is completely different. Even two identical twins will not have the exact same DNA. They will have very similar DNA, but it will not be the same. For example, there is a father and a mother. The father could be above average height and the mother could be below. And they have two children. One child could be above average height like his father, the other could be below average height like his mother. And another possibility is they could be average height because they got one set of proteins from father and another set from the mother. And they are neither short nor tall. So DNA can not only determine the color of your eyes, or your hair color, it can also determine your body shape, baldness, or even hair grade. You might be thinking, how do you get all this information about DNA? DNA can be determined from saliva, blood, or even a strand of hair. Scientists examine DNA by looking at chromosomes under a microscope. Human DNA mostly comes in long strands called chromosomes. Each person typically has 23 pairs for a total of 46 chromosomes. Doctors use a cheek swab or a blood test to find diseases. They will put it under a microscope and look for unusual things in your monosomes. For instance, they can find monosomy, which is when you are missing some chromosomes, which can lead to health issues and cause Turner syndrome, which can also lead to heart defects, hearing loss, dry eyes, increased blood pressure, and even scoliosis. Nowadays, a simple DNA test is done to almost every newborn baby in a hospital. Every baby gets a simple heel prick, and doctors will examine the blood and look for anything unusual, like a rare but serious medical issue called sickle cell anemia or hypothyroidism. The effects of these disorders could be lessened with an early treatment. As some geneticists say, knowledge is power and forewarned is forearmed. A simple test can give you a glimpse into the future and help you prevent possible risks you may face, or just help you be ready for them. DNA analysis is also used for law enforcement. All the cool scenes in movies where they can solve a series of crimes with just a single strand of hair is actually true. Law enforcement can use DNA of a suspect and run it against the DNA found at the scene of the crime. DNA can also be used to exonerate wrongfully convicted criminals. And for example, DNA testing technology in the 1970s wasn't available. Now investigators can retest DNA from years ago and free innocent people that were wrongly convicted. There are reports of more than 350 people that have been exonerated in the US since 1989. Nowadays, DNA testing is freely available. You can get tests at your doctor's office or through companies like 23andMe or Ancestry. They promise you a roadmap of your genealogy by looking into both sides of your family and get insights where you came from. Imagine adopted children finding out about their biological parents, lost relatives finding their families, or even learning that you're part Irish or German. Family history can get lost really fast, so it's kind of cool to learn more about your ancestors and where they came from. In conclusion, DNA is something that we cannot change. It can give us a lot of information that is pretty easily obtainable. The question is, what would you do with your DNA? Find your ancestors, do your best to prevent yourself from having a health issue that runs in your family, or just simply be aware of your genetic code and possible risks you may face in the future. The choice is yours. What would you want to know about your unique genetic code that the secrets it may contain? Thank you.